Hi, today I want to show you how I make my chainsaw holders that you can use on your tractor, on a trailer, maybe mounted on the back of your truck or UTV, or you can even make one to mount on your wall so you can store it in your garage or whatever. What I use is a piece of Unistrut. You'll need a 5-foot section to make one for a saw with a 20-inch bar. Of course, you got a bigger bar, you're going to need a bigger piece. Usually they come in a 10-foot section, so you can make two. You can buy this stuff at Home Depot or any plumbing or electrical supply store carries it. It's this here is steel. I think a lot of the times you go to Home Depot, it's galvanized, so you got to be careful when you're sanding it and welding it. You want to do it in a well-ventilated area. You'll also need a piece of 1.5 by 3/16 or quarter flat bar, and a piece of 3/8 or 1/2 inch threaded rod, 4 nuts and 4 washers, and a scabbard. That should just about be everything you need, depending on what you're mounting it on. You might need some other U-bolts or something to make your mount. So, but all right. So, okay. So the first thing that we have to do, we have to take and measure for your bar and the scabbard. So I'm actually going to make this for a 20-inch bar. This is an 18-inch scabbard, so I'll have to add 2 inches to whatever my measurement comes out to. So this will slides right in there nicely and come up with 18.5 inches. I'm going to make this 20.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut 2 of these, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've cut 2 of these at 20.5 inches. I'm going to lay them out on the ground on the table. Put my scabbard in here so I can get my measurement to go across, which 5 inches is about what I need. So after that, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this flat bar, 5 inches. I'll cut that and I'll be right back. All right, so I have 2 pieces. I've got one for the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not. Move this back. One goes on the bottom. One will mount right here on the bottom, and then in the other one I'm going to mount it about 1 inch down from the top. So this is going to hold everything at 5 inches, which makes it so the scabbard will slide in and out. And then I also have the piece that's going flat on the bottom. With my 18-inch scabbard, I can just put a piece of wood or something and slide it in there to hold it up 2 inches off the bottom until I get a 20-inch bar. Then I can take it out. I'll put that in. So I'm going to weld this up and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, so now we have to figure out where we can mount this without messing up our grease fitting. So we want to be below it, probably somewhere in the center of this, maybe a little forward because we don't want to hit this. Yeah, so the first one will be a couple inches down, and then we'll have to clear the pin to pull the loader off, which you'll have to take this off and on if you plan on taking your loader off and on. But it's only 2 bolts, so it works out pretty good. You want to also measure your thickness of the loader. So we got 5 and 4.5, and you'll have the thickness of this, inch and a half, and then also the thickness of your other brace. So when we go inside, we'll figure that out. But as far as coming down with your first one, I would come down 3 inches from the top, and then to clear that one, you'd want to come down 9 inches. So I would go 3 inches down from here, from your top of your bracket, and then from the top of your bracket again down 9 inches, and that would clear this hump, and then you'd be clear here also. Those are the 2 main things that you have to do, is your thickness, and then lining up your 2 standoffs where you're going to sandwich it. Okay. One other measurement I forgot to give you is the one that goes across the loader where we're sandwiching in, because we're mounting this down. You want to measure across there, and what I came up with was 10 inches for my loader, and I got a TYM T494. Cut your 1.5-inch piece for your back strap. I drilled the 1/2-inch holes in it. I came in 1 inch on each side on a 10-inch bar. But if you have a different loader, you'll have to do something. You'll have to figure that one out on your own. So I got my 10-inch piece cut here, and when I cut my unistrut, I kind of try and make sure that I got solid end pieces, because a lot of times if you cut it, you'll end up with an open end. You want to kind of plan it so you've got like halfway through your ribs here. So the first piece, this will be the top. I'm going to come down 2 inches, and I'm going to clear that. This one here, I'm coming down a total of 9 inches to clear those nubs on the bottom. So I'm going to go 9 1/4 just to be safe. I had a little bit of wiggle of room. All right, so I'll take my square. I'll mark these up so I can weld them up. This is just a 5-inch piece, the same width as the rest, and you're going to want to weld this face down. This one I measured and came up with 10 inches I need across there. And I'm going to put that at 2 inches down. I'll move that. And I can pretty much go center with this one, so I've got roughly 2.5 on each side. Yep. Pretty much that's the layout for
for that. And then this go on the back side of the tractor. This with your threaded rods. So those might be a little long. So I did a little bit different than I did my last one. So I believe I had 4 inches, and then the thickness of this stuff, I could have got away with 5 inches. I got 7 inches. I'll cut those off afterwards.
Okay, so we got this all welded up. That's kind of what it looks like. Our scabbard will fit right in here. Still have to put a block in the bottom so this doesn't fall all the way down. But, what else I got to do to it? Well, we'll have to paint it at some point, but I want to put some pieces of inner tube on the back side so it doesn't scratch the paint on the tractor. And also it helps it keep it from moving around. So when you tighten it down, it kind of holds it in place. So I sliced up an inner tube and I sprayed them with some trim adhesive. And all I have to do is push it right on there. And it won't come off. Just use some 3M general trim adhesive. You can pick that up at any auto parts store. Just stick these pieces on here. When you spray it, probably let it dry for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Put a good coat on there, and then it'll stay in place until you get it clamped down. So you want to do it on all 3 pieces. So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick was that you could use a different mounting system if you were going to put this on a tube trailer. You could take pieces of angle iron. Say your trailer's got tubing around it, you could just weld up some pieces of angle iron or C-channel if you had the right size C-channel. And you could mount it on the back side. So you could mount this or weld this on the back side so you could mount that on your trailer using a U-bolt. You could just clamp that right in place and it would stay there. And then if you had just an angle iron side trailer, you could just drill a couple holes in the piece of angle iron and weld that onto there, and then you could just bolt it to your trailer. Easy enough. And you wouldn't have to do these 2 pieces of unistrut. All right, we'll go put this on the tractor.
Okay, so we're going to mount this on the tractor. I found an easy way to do it is take one of these clamps, and then you can position this where you want it. I want to make sure that I'm down low enough that I'm not going to be interfering with my grease fittings. And I got this holds it pretty good right in place. And then we have to put on our back strap. See if I can do this without having it flop all over the place. I gotta put both of these in. All right, so to put this in, I gotta put my block in, but still it's holds it in place really good. And there you go. If you mount it on a trailer, you could weld a couple of loops on there, and you run a cable through and lock it up. I know a couple of friends have lost saws from people just walking by and swiping them, so might be an option if you're in a neighborhood that has that problem. But I've had it on 3 different tractors and they stand there good and beats running them over. So I hope this helped somebody. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.